Hello and welcome everyone. This is Q&A 1 of our Masterclass series. I'm Lisa Shirley, Community Manager for Formula Botanica, and a huge welcome. And I'm joined by two special guests. Lorraine, would you like to say hello?
Hi everyone. It's so lovely to have you with us. I can see lots of people joining already. Big warm welcome to our Q&A. Big warm welcome to our Masterclass. I hope you've watched all the episodes. We're going to ask lots of questions about that, but we're also here to answer your questions tonight. I'm Lorraine. I'm the CEO. I am thrilled to be here. I can't wait to hang out with you for an hour.
I'm Brooke.
Hi everyone, my name is Brooke. I'm the Formulation Tutor at Formula Botanica, and it's fantastic to see so many of you with us this evening. And as Lorraine said, we're going to be chatting a bit about the first few lessons of the Masterclass, which I hope you've all seen and are all enjoying so far. And if you have any questions, pop them in the chat and we'll hopefully get them answered for you.
Amazing. And as Brooke and Lorraine have said, so the first 3 Masterclass are now live. I hope you've all watched them. If you haven't, don't worry. That is absolutely fine. Just join us for this Q&A. And I can see that lots of you have had questions in our communities. We've been grabbing them from all over the place. So thank you so much for that, because your participation is so important throughout this Masterclass. And it makes it more fun for us as well. So a big thank you. And I can also see we've got loads of people joining, like literally in the last minute. We've got Algeria, people from Croatia, Chicago, Nottingham, Albania, Suffolk, North Carolina, New York, London. We've had a very rainy London day today, but it doesn't matter because we're here enjoying the Masterclass and all that love that comes with it. And as we've said at the beginning, this is our Q&A. So what we are here for is to answer your questions. Now, if you've joined this Q&A, we know you just want to know more about the Masterclass and you just want to have fun along with it. So just take this opportunity, because Lorraine and Brooke are busy, take this opportunity to ask them a question and we will be able to help you get through all of those lessons. And we have another Q&A on Sunday as well. So should be able to answer all of your lovely questions. We're going to get to it. So Lorraine, Brooke, are we ready?
We are. And I just want to say, if anyone's landed on this live and they're like, what's going on? What's the Masterclass? I don't understand what's happening. Just a bit of context. Formula Botanica is teaching a huge free formulation event. This is the formulation event of the year. You're going to learn how to make this pumpkin face cream, and it's entirely free. And we've got tens of thousands of people taking part all over the world. And this is the first Q&A, the teaching Q&A, where you can throw any question at us about what you've seen so far in the Masterclass. And we're here to answer it. And you might be watching us live. You might also catch us on the replay, in which case we just hope that you're having an amazing time. We're here to teach the world to formulate. So make sure that you've printed out your workbook, which you get for free when you sign up for the Masterclass. And I'm sure the ticket to sign up, or the link to sign up, is with this live as well. So go and print it out and then get ready to formulate if you want to formulate along with us.
And I'm glad Lorraine showed that workbook at the very beginning, because we're going to get tons of questions about that. We always do. And everything you can find about the Masterclass is within your study area. So as soon as you get your ticket, you get a link to your study area and you get a link to the equipment, everything you need, all the lessons, absolutely everything. And you can download the workbook, supply guide, absolutely everything. So we've done all the hard work for you. Well, Brooke, the education team, Lorraine, I've done all the hard work for you. So this is going to be really easy. And let's get started. Okay. First question. Now we get this one actually a lot. So Brooke, someone says, okay, I've done my emulsion. They've obviously listened and watched the first 3 lessons. Well done. Now where do I put it?
So your emulsion at this stage isn't quite finished. You've got your base together. You haven't yet got your actives and your preservatives. So it's not ready to go in your final jar just yet. So what we would recommend doing is leaving it in the beaker and leaving it somewhere like the fridge if you want to then add to it later down the line. But your formulation is going to need to be preserved before you can use it. So what we recommend you do with this one, if you're formulating along with us in each stage, is you use this one as a practice run, use it as a trial run, and then once you've got all 3 sections of the Masterclass together, once you've decided you can go through it all in one go, make your formulation, and then that's ready to be packaged and put in a lovely jar for you to use. But for now, make sure you put it in the fridge, store it somewhere cool, and cover it down so nothing gets in there, and you can then add your lovely botanicals and your preservative to it as you get more lessons.
Great, fantastic. Okay, next question, and this is from the lovely Dawn. Dawn says, is there a link to some equipment that is not within the Amazon link provided? So Lorraine, what do we say?
I would say, don't worry too much about equipment at this stage. You're going to have most of the things you need in your kitchen. We don't want you to invest in lots of equipment either. I mean, the reason we show that episode 2, well, in fact, I've got it here. We show our lab in a bag. This one, sorry, they're not for sale yet. Really do need to get that sorted. The reason we show you that is because it's so simple. And we want you to just basically use the tools that you have. Now, if you don't have pH strips, that's okay. If you don't have like a glass beaker, use a bowl. If you don't have a glass rod, use a spoon. If you don't have a water bath, which you probably won't do, use a pan and just put the bowl over the pan. So I just want you to try and keep things as simple as possible for now, because it's more about you getting a feel for formulation. And if you find that you really enjoy it and you want to do more of it, and I really hope you do, because it is quite addictive to learn how to make your own skincare and hair care, then you can start to buy a few more things. But I wouldn't sweat the small stuff at the moment.
Great. Okay, so next question. Okay, so someone asks, and they've just come in. So how much is the price for the masterclass? So can everyone join the masterclass, Lorraine?
Yes, they can. It is entirely free. We are teaching this because we wanted to teach the world to formulate. We have run free trainings in various forms over the years. We've taught over 800,000 people for free. And this is very much part of that as well, because we think formulation is a skill everyone can and should learn. So this masterclass is free. Just put your name down, come and get your free ticket, come and download your free workbook, this 32-page PDF, fill it in, watch all the videos. It's an awesome training. There you go. Brooke's got one too. We've had people even tell us that they've paid for online courses in the past, which are nowhere near as good as this free masterclass. So go and make the most of it. It's only here for a couple of weeks. This is your chance.
And this is slightly attached and from the same person. So I'll come back to you, Lorraine. So can we buy the kits on Formula Botanica? I think they mean obviously the kits that come with the masterclass. So what do we offer?
So if you sign up for the masterclass, there'll be a study area. You'll get an email that has a link to the study area in it. That's where all your videos are. That's where all the freebies and goodies are. It's just in one simple place. Make sure you find that email. Make sure you save it somewhere. And then on that, we've partnered with various kit suppliers around the world in lots of different countries like US, UK, New Zealand, Australia, India. We've got one in South Africa, and I've got one here from one of our UK suppliers. This is from Aromantic, and then you can order a little kit from them if you want to formulate along with us, and you can make the product, the face cream that we're going to teach you how to make 3 times. But if you don't want to formulate along right now, that's totally fine too. Just settle in, watch the videos, soak it all up, and have fun.
Fantastic. And I'm going to quickly show this, Lorraine, just because. So is the lavender bag available to purchase? We don't have to go down this road. I just thought that was kind of funny.
Unfortunately, it's not at the moment, but
Not
we
yet,
really
but
would like it to be.
Great question. One day.
One day.
Okay, so Laurie asks. So after this face cream formulation, will it enable me to use the same method of formulation to formulate other face creams for acne, some, other different skin conditions or different kinds of moisturizers? So where will this masterclass lead them, Brooke?
So once you know how to formulate a face cream, it is a journey from there to be able to formulate all different kinds of products. So that is what Formula Botanica is all about, of teaching you how to formulate. And when you know how to formulate, you can formulate anything your heart desires. You could do different kinds of moisturizers, you can do cleansers, you can do serums. So you might make this face cream to start with. This might be the first thing you ever make, but it can definitely be a door that then opens into all different kinds of other things. So if this is where you're starting, that's fantastic. You're exactly in the right place, and it is something that can lead you wherever you would like it to take you.
Fantastic. And I can already see people asking about the workbook. So just as a reminder, use the link that our colleague Eliziani is sharing in the chat, or use the link down below and just get your free ticket to the masterclass. You'll get sent an email, which will take you to your study area, and everything you need is in there. We really have made it as simple as possible. So you won't have to go anywhere else apart from your study area. You can download your workbook and keep it online, or you can print it off. We recommend printing it off because it's just more fun, makes it more real. Okay, so someone asks, so Lorraine, Someone asks, is it possible to formulate for my kitchen and sell the product? So where can just like learning from formulation take you? Because we have so many students who start with the masterclass and then go on to do incredible things.
Absolutely. Most people take one of our free trainings like this masterclass and then they come and enroll with us. But we touch on the equipment that you need and the workspace you need a little bit in episode 2 of the masterclass. So I hope you've watched that one, Weedcraft in the Netherlands. And so go and watch that. But we talk about good manufacturing practice later on in the masterclass as well when we talk about preservation. GMP, that's a really important acronym when you're making cosmetics. It is possible to formulate from your kitchen as long as you can meet those good manufacturing practice standards. What we find is that many of the formulators in our community will possibly find a different space in their home that they can keep separate from their family, their pets, that sort of thing. I have a very messy husband, 2 teenage sons, a cat. I couldn't possibly make products in my kitchen that I would sell, but I could, for instance, carve out some space in a spare room. It doesn't have to be much. You really don't need much space to do this, and make and sell products from there. But stay tuned for episodes 6 and 7, where we'll talk more about preservation, and episode 2, obviously, when we show you the setup for the equipment that you need.
Absolutely. And this is from Queen Priest. Then we're not going to go into this, but I just wanted to flag it. So someone says, which course do you recommend, please? I have dyslexia and struggle with paperwork. How do our students kind of deal with this kind of issue? Like, how do we frame our courses just to help people involved? So let's not go into it too much, but how do we
I think the main thing is the course you need right now is this free masterclass. Just dive into it, have fun with it, go and soak it all up. It's mainly video based, so you don't have a lot of reading. If you're interested in joining Formula Botanica afterwards, we would love to welcome you. Obviously, we have set up our courses so that they are accessible to anyone with any learning differences. But come and have a chat with us if you want to talk more about that. But for now, the course I recommend is this completely free masterclass, which is awesome.
Absolutely. And if you have any questions, Queen Priest, great name, you can almost always email us at hello@formulabotanica.com and just start a conversation with our help desk. And we just have lovely, really helpful, wonderful human staff that are just going to help you. So please do send us an email. Okay. So this person says, so if I don't have a glass rod, can I use something else for purposes of just getting it made? So we've obviously recommended a glass rod, but what can this person use, Brooke?
So you have lots of options when it comes to making your emulsion. A glass rod is a really easy, cheap thing to start off using, and they are available in most places. So if you have a look in kitchen stores and that, you might be able to find them. But if you don't have them, you can use a few other things. You could use, I have got a couple of different bits here that I can show you. You can use something like, you could just use a spoon if you have a spoon. That's possibly not the easiest one to work with because it isn't even in texture, but you could use a spatula like this, which would work quite well. Or you could use, when I can get my hands on it, because I've got my lab in a bag here, so I have a less green one than the one we have in the Formula Botanica studio. But we can also use what's called a mini whisk, which has fallen right to the bottom of my lab in a bag. So there we go. There we go. That one. It looks like this. So you'll see us use it in lesson 2 as well. And these are fantastic. You can also get these in kitchen stores. You might have them if you're into baking or making coffee or anything. But these are fantastic as well for just bringing your 2 phases together.
Great, fantastic. Okay, next one. Speaking of whisking, so we'll go to the next one. So I think I've whisked my emulsifier for a bit too long. It's thicker than what I saw in the video. Should I just go ahead? So what would we suggest, Brooke, if someone's made something and they're not quite sure? Should they just go or make again?
I think you can, the aim behind the masterclass is to teach you how to make a formulation. So if you're not 100% sure with it, keep going, add the rest of the ingredients, see how it looks. You might find that if it's thickened up a bit more, it could either be that your temperature wasn't quite right, maybe something wasn't exactly at the right Celsius of 75 degrees. You might find that if you left it heating for quite a long time, you might have had some extra water evaporating if you left it a really long time. Normally, we don't tend to find that much evaporation when we're formulating because they're quite small vessels. But if you leave it for sort of 20 minutes heating, for example, then you might find you lose a little bit. That can cause it to be thicker. Or you might find that if you've whisked it too long, you might have just added quite a bit of air to it, which can also cause it to look a bit thicker, which might cause it to separate further down the line. But keep going with it, add the rest of your ingredients so you can use it as a practice run. And then once you've done all the phases, do the whole thing through again and see how it looks then. If not, then there are some other things we can do, but we would sort of need to know what exactly you did to help you sort of find exactly what's caused that. But it could be a couple of things. Give it a go, finish it off, and then try again through and see how that looks.
I think the main
Absolutely.
thing I would say is it sounds like you've made an emulsion, which is awesome. And now
Yeah.
you've already done the hardest bit, and actually it's super simple. And now you can tinker about with the viscosity of it, whether it's thin or thick. So congratulations. It sounds like you're most of the way there already, which is awesome.
So next question. Someone says, just as kind of a refresh on how we do things, is there a percentage to work with in formulating the face cream? So do we offer the whole formula for this, Lorraine?
Is there a percentage to work with in formulating the face cream?
I think they're saying, do we give everything?
Well, we're going to walk you through how to make the face cream from scratch. So lesson 3 is all about how to make the base. Lesson 5, which drops tomorrow, is all about adding the botanicals into it. And then lesson 7, which will then drop on Sunday. I haven't got my schedule in front of me, but I think that's correct. Then you'll preserve it. And basically all the ingredients together will be 100%. But we're working in grams for this one, not in percentages, because we didn't want to confuse anyone with any maths or make anything complicated. We've made it as simple as possible for you to just follow along. And, formulation is really addictive. Once you start buying those ingredients, once you start getting those beakers, once you start feeling like you've set up a small formulation lab at home, you're going to have so much fun with it.
Exactly. Esther asks, so can we return to the video lessons anytime? So Lorraine.
You can until we close down the masterclass, which will be happening on October 14th. Help me here, Lisa. Is that the correct date? Yes. So
correct.
We cannot keep running this all year round. Obviously, we can only do this for a short period of time. The whole team is here, and we're also teaching our students, and we need to get the show back on the road and just focusing 100% on running the school. So on October 14th, all of the lessons will be disappearing. But until then, you can return to them whenever you want and binge watch them as many times as you want. And many people over the years have actually said they've watched all of them 10 times, which is quite unbelievable, but amazing. It's there for you.
And I can see a few people asking questions about the workbook again. So just as a quick refresh, just get your ticket. You'll get an email, send you to your study area, and you'll be able to download everything, including your workbook, supply guide, ingredient list, modeled by the lovely Lorraine there. So do not worry, just grab your ticket and we will make it super easy for you.
Yeah.
Okay, Maura asks, so can I replace the pomegranate glycerate with a homemade hibiscus glycerate? So Brooke, what would we suggest to Maura?
Maura, you can definitely give that a go. Yeah, homemade hibiscus glycerate sounds absolutely lovely, I have to say. It's probably got a lovely colour to it as well. So you might find that glycerite will change the colour of your cream. It's probably going to be a lot more red than it would be normally. We have got a blog post on making glycerites. If you want to have a look at that, that does have some quite helpful tips in there as well. If you're coming to selling things, then making your own homemade stuff then makes things a little bit more complicated. But when you're learning now with the masterclass, making your own ingredients, if that's something you want to have a go at, then absolutely give it a go, and I'm sure it will be lovely.
And just to add, Brooke mentioned our blog and mentioned one of our blog posts. Go and spend some time on our blog as well. There are over 700 articles on there. It's a treasure trove. So go dive into them and soak it all up. You'll have loads of fun.
Exactly. Always something to formulate. Okay, so Real and Raw says, on your video, Lorraine, you show a metal mini whisk. Can we use the battery-operated Norpro? So are we allowed?
Who's answering this one? Me? Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely,
no?
you can.
Yeah.
I mean, we want to keep it as simple as possible for you to just make it super accessible. If you want to go and buy a little battery-operated like coffee frother, which is what the Norpro is, then go for it. But you can also just very much use a whisk, just like Brooke showed us earlier. So don't overthink it. Just have a go with it, and you'll have a lot of fun.
Great. Okay, next question. Someone says, I don't see what size jar is needed to bottle the final product. I'm sure we do mention this, but Brooke, what do we recommend?
So your formulation for the masterclass is going to make you 50 grams. So each batch is going to total 50 grams at the end. So you're going to want about a 50 ml container, and that should fill it quite nicely. You could get a slightly bigger one if you want to have some space to sort of make it easier to pour. But we recommend usually a screw top jar, and a 50 ml one should be perfect. There you go, exactly like that one.
Exactly. Cool.
Small and handy. You can always use one that you have that is obviously clean at home as well. Okay, so Brooke, come back to you for this one. So do you have to put essential oil in this lotion? Can a herbal infused oil be used instead?
Yes, it can. Yeah, the essential oils are not mandatory in the formula. If you want to try using something else, then you are more than welcome to. With the herbal infused oil, I believe the lavender essential oil is only in there at 0.25% or 0.25 grams. Sorry, it's 0.5%. So it won't be a lot of herbal infused oil. But if you wanted to swap one of the carrier oil for that instead, you could do that. So there's different things you can do with your cream once you've got it as a base. We haven't tested those sorts of things. We've used the formulation that you've seen. That's the one we've tested. That's the one we've tried. But if you want to have a go around swapping things, you are more than welcome to. And we do have a whole lesson on substituting ingredients towards the end. I believe it is lesson 8, all about customizing your formulation. So stay tuned for that one, because we've got some ideas for you in there too.
Great, fantastic. Just going through some of the questions. Okay. Sorry, bring up captions. Okay, so next one. Someone says, does the type of oil you use affect the viscosity, of your emulsion?
It can
Lorraine?
do, yes. It depends on what kind of oil you have. I mean, most oils are typically quite similar in terms of their viscosity, but think about coconut oil. If you live in a hot climate, coconut oil for you is liquid. Here in the UK, it's very, very solid. So it very much depends on the oil you use. But typically, the thing that will affect the viscosity of your emulsion the most is how much of the emulsifier you're using and sort of what percentage of oil versus water you have. But just follow along with what we're doing. Make the one that we're showing you how to make. And then if you want to take it further, this is the formulator's journey, right? Then you start to tweak, then you start to perfect, then you start to add other ingredients in, then you start to play with the viscosity. And if you're feeling brave, you could even take the one that we're teaching you and try and play around with it. But if you're new to this, just follow what we're showing you, and that will be the best place to start.
Yeah, make it easy. Okay, so someone asks, Dorothy asks, which preservative is best for preserving the botanical face cream for over 1 year? So with the preservative that we have told them to use in our formula, how long would the cream last? And should they change it if they want it to last longer, Brooke?
So this is a slightly tricky question, because there is no best preservative for any particular situation. It's about finding the best one that works in your situation. So with natural preservatives, you can get your creams to last over a year if the rest of the formula lines up nicely. We recommend at the moment for this formulation using about 3 to 6 months, because if it's your first formula, if you're just starting to formulate, you want to make sure that, and you're maybe formulating in the kitchen rather than in lab conditions, it is harder to get it to last a long time in terms of shelf life. It can last longer than that. We have tested it for over a year, but it depends on a few different factors, which then gets a little bit complicated. In terms of there being a best preservative, there's different preservatives are good for different things in different situations, and that's something that you learn as part of that formulator journey, as you learn to work with ingredients, research different things. So depending on the ingredients that are in your face cream, what your philosophy is, whether you want to use entirely naturals, there will be different preservatives that are best in different situations. So it's not something that I can give you a definitive answer for, but I can say that the formulation that we are teaching you with Preservative Eco, that does last very well. I have had one formulation that I left in a drawer for over 3 years, and it did still look fine. I didn't dip slide test it, so you always want to check that, but that is definitely a good place to start if you're just learning to formulate.
Great. Okay, so this is Anna, who's a little bit worried about something, but Not to worry. So Anna says, unfortunately, I've not managed to source all the ingredients and utensils. Now, Anna, we're just kind of starting. We've only released the first 3 lessons. It is not mandatory that you follow along as each of the lessons are released. Do not worry. Just watch the lessons, make a ton of notes in your workbook. That is what it's for. We've literally given you everything. So you can write down all the notes on the lessons, all the ingredient tips, absolutely everything. Join the Q&As and just make your cream when you're ready. Lorraine,
yeah, absolutely. And if you're trying to source all the ingredients individually, just go and buy a kit from one of our kit suppliers. I know there isn't a kit supplier in every country around the world, but most of them will ship around the world, so you can get one shipped to you. And the other cool thing is, of course, you download your workbook, you fill in all the blanks, you follow along with the videos, you take all your notes, and even if your ingredients arrive in 2 weeks' time, you'll still be able to follow everything because you'll have filled in your workbook. So don't worry too much about it. But as Lisa said, you don't have to formulate along with us. Just follow along and soak it up, and you'll see for yourself how simple formulation is.
Yeah, and you'll see so many people in the Skincare Entrepreneur Mastermind group, just sharing tips, ideas, stuff like that. Just, get involved in that community element of it as well, because at the end of the day, it's just all about having fun. We're just making a face cream here, enjoying the ride. So yeah, we just love you to join when you're ready. Okay, I'm not sure if we can answer this one, Brooke, but let's see. So Chima says, when we mix the 2 phases, should we keep them inside the hot water? Wouldn't the temperature get higher than needed? Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that's a very good question. So depending on the space you have to work with, you can just take them out of the hot water, mix them together. A lot of times I personally find that easier, because if your ingredients have both reached that temperature, you can sort of stir them together. If you're worried about them getting colder, then what you can do is to try and keep the temperature the same. If you're trying to mix them within your heating vessel, but you can turn the heat off and just leave them in that warm water. If you're struggling to get the 2 phases together, you can leave them warm and give them a good stir in that hot water, which will help to combine them. But in general, it's not necessary. Whenever we've tested them, we've tested it taking them both out of the water bath, combining them outside, so you've got more space and you're not trying to sort of work within the hot water, and it makes that a little bit easier. So you can do both, whatever's easiest for you. Taking it out isn't going to affect it. Leaving it in, unless you're leaving it in there a long time, the temperature's not going to get that much higher. But you wouldn't want to leave it in there and sort of let it go up over 80. So if you are leaving it in there, keep an eye on it and just know that you need to take it out if it's heading in that direction.
Great. Okay, next one. Lorraine, this one's for you. So is it better to use a glass bowl or a plastic bowl for our formulations? Does it matter?
Glass does tend to be better. It's easier to clean. It means that you won't accidentally sort of get any shards of plastic in your formulation if something, for whatever reason. Also, it heats better. So if you're using a glass bowl to heat your emulsion, because not everyone has a glass beaker, then yes, it's better to have that in glass than in plastic.
And I can still see people asking for the links for ingredients and the workbook and stuff like that. So just as a refresh, because we're kind of halfway through now, just grab your ticket from the link you see underneath this live. And I know our colleague Liziani is sharing it as well. Just grab your ticket. You'll get an email. It will send you through. You'll be able to click on through to an area called your study area. And everything you need will be there to download. Your workbook, ingredients list, supply guide, absolutely everything. So please do not worry about that.
And the links to all the kit suppliers. So yeah, they'll go straight through to the web pages where you can buy them. Yep. So it's all there. All you need to do is sign up, find that email, save that email, click on the link in that email, and all will be explained.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, Brooke, coming to you for this one. So how do you clean and sanitize your pipettes? And in cleaning in general, what do we recommend for people going through the masterclass?
So cleaning and sanitizing pipettes can be a tricky one. So I definitely understand that question. If you've got disposable pipettes, your plastic ones, then you can't clean those. You unfortunately do have to get rid of them, which is why we tend to recommend using the glass ones, because they have a rubber top then that you can take them off and give them a good scrub. For anything cleaning relating to formulating, what we recommend is hot soapy water, so the normal water and soap you would use to wash your dishes. Just give them all a good scrub, give them a good rinse with some water, and then we would what's called sanitize your equipment, and we would do that with a blend of alcohol or IPA, isopropyl alcohol, at about 70%. We spray it down, leave it to evaporate, and let it sanitize things. For pipettes, you can get these little brushes that you use for straws. My pipettes came with one that fitted, but you can get those little brushes as well if they come separately, which just helps you sort of dislodge any oils and things. If it's being a bit stubborn, you can kind of soak it in the hot water, give a bit of extra soap, give it a good brush, and then make sure that you sanitize them with that alcohol, and they should be good to go then.
Great. And someone here says, Nira, I think that is, please can I use a silver bowl? I mean, that's very fancy. If you'd like to use a silver bowl, I think everyone...
Which probably means metal. You could do, just be careful when you're heating it. If you are using that to heat the phases of the oil and the water parts of your emulsion, just be very careful, because I don't want you to burn yourself.
Lovely comment from Yoga. Says, I've been formulating for years since discovering Olive M1000 from your last masterclass. My creams are now 1,000,000 times better. Thank you so much. You are welcome, Yoga. That is exactly what we're here for. Okay, so someone asks, this is Krista, says, please can you tell us a little bit more about lesson 10, the Organic Skincare Entrepreneur Blueprint?
So
Lorraine.
we are going to be teaching lesson 10 in your masterclass live. You're going to be seeing Lisa and me again next Wednesday at 6 p.m. UK time. And in that, we're going to walk you through the blueprint that our graduates have followed to become organic skincare entrepreneurs. Because you're taking this masterclass to learn how to formulate, but you probably also have a dream or a little voice in your head that says, hey, I could sell these products, which is what happens to most of the people who learn how to formulate. Because let's face it, it's such an awesome skill to learn that you can make something with your own hands and then go out into the world and sell it. And I don't know if you can see all the products behind me. I mean, we've had over 22,000 students go through our courses, hence why it says 22,000 behind me. And I get sent all these incredible products from people all over the world. And it's amazing to see what's possible. And this could be possible for you too. So what we've done is we've basically reverse engineered the path that all of those graduates took. And we've created the blueprint that you need to follow in order to basically walk in their footsteps. So we'll be presenting all about that and showing you exactly what's required in order to get you there, and showing you all the things that the beauty industry doesn't want you to know about formulation, because they want you to come and buy their products rather than make your own. So it's going to be live. We're going to be taking as many questions as possible. It's going to be a lot of fun. So sign up for it. Come and join us.
That one really is a lot of fun, and it's for absolutely everyone. People are thinking about selling, people who've just discovered formulation, like across the board. That one is for absolutely everyone. So make sure you don't miss that one. Don't miss any of them, but make sure you don't miss that one. Okay. So what type of skin is this cream good for, Brooke?
So we've tried to make this cream as universal as we can. So it should be good for most skin types. It's quite nice and moisturizing, but it's not too heavy. So if you have maybe drier skin, it should be moisturizing enough for you. If you have oilier skin, you should be able to use it in sort of a thin amount. It's quite difficult to make perfectly universal skin because different people have different preferences, and that's where then formulation can be really amazing, because it means you can then take it and you can run with it. You can try different things. Depending on the products you layer with, you can use different, get different effects with it. But the skin cream is very good for most normal skin types, depending on what you want to pair it with. If there's different textures you want, there's different things you can do. That is what formulation is all about, and that is what the masterclass is designed to get you started with. So hopefully, if you want to start trying different things, then you are definitely in the right place.
Great.
Lisa, whilst you look for the next question, just for everyone, if anyone's joined us in the last 5 to 10 minutes or before that, and you're wondering what's going on, this is the live Q&A, the first one that we're hosting for the free masterclass that we're teaching, where you're going to be learning how to make this pumpkin face cream. If you sign up, it's all completely free. You get taken to a study area. There you have links to download your workbook. Go and print it out. It's a lot of fun. Fill it in as you follow all the activities throughout the masterclass. There are links to buy kits. There are links to the ingredients that you'll need. And most importantly, all the videos for the masterclass are going to be sat right there. And it's structured a little bit like a mini Netflix series, so you can sort of binge watch it all. So just make sure that you take part, have fun. And this Q&A is to answer all the questions that we've had so far, along with anything that you're going to throw at us in the next half hour or so, because we're only here for 1 hour. But then we'll be back again for another Q&A on Sunday.
Absolutely. And I just want to throw this comment from Anna, who is already getting the benefits of these Q&As and all the information. Thank you so much for all the lovely information. You have made it so easy for us. Yes, Anna, that is absolutely correct. Great to hear it. I appreciate it all so much. We do appreciate you. There are thousands and thousands of people taking part in this masterclass all over the world, and we couldn't do it without you. It would just be us making formulation, sending it out there. So we need you to enjoy it and love it. And you are, at the moment, we are seeing people giving such lovely feedback in our lives and in the Skincare Entrepreneur Mastermind group as well. So thank you all very much.
We have made it easy, but formulation is super easy as well. And that's really what we want you to take from this is if you could make your own face cream that simply, just imagine what else you could make. I mean, the world is your oyster, really. You could create your own skincare range and you could sell that. You don't need to be a chemist to do this. And that's really the message we're trying to get across here in the masterclass as well. So I'm so pleased that you find it easy because formulation is super easy and it's fun.
And I just want to say, I can see a lot of questions in the chat about different things, like skin conditions, making different types of creams, different types of formulations. We can't cover all that in this Q&A because could go in so many different areas. So we really need to keep it just focused on the masterclass. So that's what we're answering questions on that right now, just lessons 1 to 3 and kind of anything else around the masterclass, because we would be here all day if we covered everything. But that is, a little refresh for everyone. Okay, so this person asked Lorraine, how can I know the product I'm creating is safe to apply on the skin? So why is it safe?
Firstly, because it's preserved. That's incredibly important. If you're making a skincare product or hair care product that contains a water-based ingredient, in our case, we're using a hydrosol, which we talk all about in episode 3 if you haven't watched it yet. But it needs preservation. So first of all, the product is preserved. It's pH tested. We've tested it extensively. We've stability tested it. We know that this product works. So for that reason, it's safe. Now, I will caveat that by saying that anyone can be allergic to anything, literally anything. So some people may react to all sorts of things, but that's a very, very small percentage of the population. But in general, it should be absolutely fine. And I just want to ask everyone who's here, how many episodes have you watched so far? Because there are 3 available. So have you watched all 3 of them? Leave us a number in the chat. Type 1, 2, or 3 and tell us how many you've watched.
Yeah, and don't be worried about answering. I think people sometimes feel like they have to have watched all 3. Don't worry, you just let us know. Okay, Brooke. So someone asks, should we use certain whisks for different batch sizes, or does it matter? I think this person wants to go bigger with their formulation dream. So how does it differ?
So I would recommend, yes, using different whisk sizes as you get into bigger batches. So the little mini whisk that we showed you, I think you could probably make anything up to a max of 200 grams with this. Definitely up to 100 grams is fine. Probably 150, 200 is probably your absolute maximum. After that, your arm's going to start to ache because you do have to give it a good stir. You might want a bigger whisk and a bigger vessel when you get to that stage. So you can use hand whisks as you do progress that much. Possibly if you're looking to make bigger batches, if you're looking to sort of maybe make some for your friends and your family and maybe do a big batch for Christmas, then what we would suggest using is something called a homogenizer. Homogenizers can be quite expensive. That's a professional piece of kit. But what you can do is you can use what's called an immersion blender, which is a basic piece of kitchen equipment. You can get those quite cheaply and they work pretty well. Sort of, it's not quite as good as the professional one, but for a big batch it will definitely save your arm. So if you're planning on making 500 grams to kilos of some products for your friends and family, then it's definitely worth investing in one of those just to save your arm.
But don't worry at the moment. You don't need that right now. You're just getting started. A mini whisk is super simple. Keep it as simple as possible. Please don't go and buy any expensive equipment. You don't need it. And even if you enrolled with us afterwards, you wouldn't even need it for the foundation courses that we have. We keep it super, super simple and very affordable.
Yes, definitely. So it's only if you're planning on making kilos of products, but for most batch sizes that you would be making, your whisk would be absolutely fine.
And for now, you're just making 50 grams. So let's stick with that.
So after we've made our emulsion for lesson 3, do we keep it in the beaker or waiting for the next lesson? Lorraine?
You can keep it in the beaker and wait for the next lesson. Make that your practice. Stick it in the fridge. You can also decant it and put it in a jar for now and put it in the fridge, or you can discard it. The main thing is if you're waiting for the next lessons and you've made half the emulsion, then don't use it, because that one is not preserved, as Brooke said at the beginning.
Okay. So Brooke, someone asks, can we take out papaya glycerate, or is it essential as I cannot find papaya? So what would happen if someone takes out something we suggest?
So the papaya glycerate is something you can take out if you have to. We would possibly suggest, or I would suggest, swapping it with glycerin might be a really good option, because that will give you still that nice humectant feel, that nice humectant base. But glycerin is really easy to find in most places, so hopefully you should be able to get your hands on some glycerin, and you can swap it out for that if you can't find papaya, because that just means it's still a glycerate is based off of glycerin. So how many times can you say that quickly? But it doesn't have the papaya in it, so it won't have the same botanical flair to it, but you will still get the benefits of having a humectant in there. So we would recommend, if you're going to swap it, you could swap it for a different glycerite. You could swap it for cucumber or pomegranate or anything you can get your hands on, or just plain glycerin will work too.
Absolutely. And just to go back on our little kind of poll that we did, I can see the majority of people have watched all three. So congratulations. Someone said 3, watched 4 times. So well done.
I'm impressed.
Gold star for you. Yeah, mostly 3s. Lots of comments saying they can't wait to see more. So well done, everyone. Okay, let's just grab the next question. Okay, covered a lot. We are starting to repeat the questions a little bit. We're going to be here for about 20 minutes. If you do have a question, this is your time to just chuck it in the chat, because once we are gone, we will not have time to come back until Q&A 2. We'll obviously try and help you in the group. If you do have a question, do please drop it for us. Okay, so someone's asking about the finished cream. So can the finished cream be stored in a plastic jar? Brooke?
Yes, if you've got plastic jars, then you can store that. If that's what you have, that's absolutely fine. We recommend glass just because they're lovely. They are nice and recyclable. They're easy to wash. But if you have a plastic jar that you want to use, that is absolutely fine. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Great.
I'm happy to take the question about the preservative, Lisa. Let's bring that one on.
Oh,
yeah,
there's a few on there.
I think it's good because that way we can talk about episode 8.
Hold on.
Here, I'll bring it up.
Oh, this one, Sandra?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, one second. Here we go.
There we go.
So please, which preservative is best for face and body cream? Make it last longer.
Sandra, I mean, we're working with one specific preservative blend, which we'll talk about more in episode 7 when we introduce it to you. We are in your workbook. We do actually list alternative ingredients as well, which we're going to run through in episode 8. It's a lot of fun. It's called Customize Your Natural Emulsion. We loved filming episode 8 because what we do is we literally cover our workbench in the lab, in the studio, with as many ingredients as we can fit on there. And then we show you other oils, other hydrosols, other emulsifiers. And in your workbook, there's also a list of other preservatives as well. So if anyone's thinking, I can't get a hold of this specific ingredient, there are alternatives, and we'll be talking about it in episode 8. So yeah, don't worry about it. The one thing I will say is natural preservatives do tend to give your products a slightly shorter shelf life. If you want really long shelf lives, then you end up having to work with the sort of traditional mainstream synthetic preservatives that have been on the market for a very long time, because they just are very potent. But we don't work with them because they're not organic certified, and we are the Organic Cosmetic Formulation School.
We are. We say it proudly. Okay, so quick summary on this one, because we've had some people kind of just join the line live. Lorraine, so my first time, where do I start?
Good
where
question.
do they go?
Sign up with the link that's with this video if you haven't yet already, and find the email that we've sent you. In that email, there is one big link that takes you to the study area. That's like the holy grail. You don't want to lose that link. Make sure you save that email and that you bookmark that link. And you go to the study area then, and then there's a link to download your workbook, the one I just showed you. Make sure you print it out as well, because that way you can fill it in as you go through all of the lessons. There's a link to different suppliers who are selling kits around the world. You don't need to buy one, but if you want to formulate along with us, that's awesome. There's a link to the ingredients that we're using. There's a link to all sorts of other information. So just go and check out the study area, and then watch the videos as they become available. And we'll email you when the next videos drop, and the next ones drop tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, and this is, couldn't catch the first name here. Mathapella says, I can't wait for more upcoming videos. Fantastic. We love to hear that. Okay, so Betty asks, this is for you, Brooke. So thank you. How do we test the pH? So do we need to test the pH of our formulation?
So when you're working with formulations that contain water, we do recommend, as you get comfortable with it, you start to test the pH. We have tried our hardest to make this face cream something that has a nice stable pH, so you should be fine in terms of pH. But if you want to be testing pH, if that's something you want to have a go at, then we would definitely recommend you start with pH strips. And there is a difference between pH strips and litmus paper. You want to try and get the strips which will have a sort of little gradient to them. I do have them somewhere, but I won't try and dig them out because that might take me a minute. But yes, so use the pH strips. You can get them in a few different gradients. Look for those, not the litmus paper, and you can start testing it from there. You then take a small sample, add it to the strip, check it against the back, and that will tell you the pH of your product. But you don't have to worry about that just for now.
And speaking of kind of having pH and testing and getting everything's right, obviously we all live in different places around the world. So I'm curious to know how this lotion would hold up in hot weather. So Lorraine, what would we say to someone thinking about temperature or worrying about it?
Well, we've undertaken quite a bit of stability testing on this product, so we know that it will hold up. It won't melt because it's an emulsion. It contains quite a lot of water-based ingredients, so you should be absolutely fine.
Great. Okay, next one. Brooke, someone says, I could only get a jewelry scale that goes down to 0.03. Is that okay?
That should be absolutely fine. Yeah, 0.03. I would be surprised if it goes down to 0.03 because normally they go down to 0.01, which is quite standard. But if it only goes down to 0.03, then
it will go. It will.
That should be fine. I imagine it goes down to 0.01, which is perfect. So you should be all good with that one.
And if anyone wonders what a jewelry scale is, they're just tiny little scales. They're very inexpensive. They only cost about $10. You can get them on Amazon. We show you one in episode 2.
One of these.
Great. And just as a flag for everyone, trusty locket. I've got a couple of questions left, but we're going to kind of be wrapping up. So if you do have any to do with the masterclass, just drop it in the chat and we will try and get through it for you. Okay, so a lot of people, Lorraine, have just heard this idea of formulation philosophy. So what if they don't know it yet? Just feel like, they can't go forward if they don't know exactly what it is. What would we advise?
That's totally fine. The whole reason that we start the masterclass off with this is because, first of all, it's important to get you thinking about, if you want to formulate, why are you doing it? What are you trying to achieve with it? What kind of ingredients fit best with what you want to do? And you won't be able to answer all those questions yet. But now that you've heard the questions, they're in the back of your mind, and you can continuously try to answer them as you become more of a formulator. If you follow this masterclass, then you've had a flavor of formulation. If you then want to become a certified formulator, we are totally ready for you at Formula Botanica. So that's where your formulation philosophy then fits. What you don't want to do is just make something because it was there and you had a recipe and then hope for the best. You want to make it because it really means something to you. And don't worry if you can't answer that right now. You'll get there. I promise you.
Absolutely. Okay, next one. So someone says, sorry, technical difficulties. Someone says, what are some good pointers when looking for trustworthy suppliers? So Lorraine, with the suppliers that we're working with around the world, why have we chosen them? Why do we trust them? What tips do we give?
Well, the first pointer I would give you is follow the suppliers that Formula Botanica have recommended. We vetted these companies. We know them. We think they're amazing. So you have a nice list right there that you can get started with straight away. Some good pointers are suppliers that have all the paperwork that they're willing to offer with ingredients. But I think the main thing, really, I don't know if I have one here. Yes, I do. Is if you do in the future choose to enroll with Formula Botanica, then we actually have a supplier guide, which is a bonus that everyone gets for free when they enroll with us. It has over 500 suppliers around the world in it. Can't really see it, but it gives you a bit of a flavor. And we've basically worked with about 8 of them for this masterclass. So start there because they're awesome.
Yep, absolutely. Okay. Next question. Is it possible to find all these Q&As in order to review them and make clear everything? Thank you for being so informative and kind. So wherever you're watching this from, Angeliki, you can watch it through again. So we're just on YouTube. You just have to, save this link, bookmark it, and bookmark Q&A too as well. You can always come back and underneath, and give us a moment to do this, but underneath all the questions will be in there with timestamps. So if you want to know something in particular, you can always go to that question, so you don't have to watch the whole live. But please do give us a second to pull that all together, because it takes a minute. But yeah, absolutely. Just remember where you're watching it from and come back.
And come and subscribe to us on YouTube. We want to get to 100,000 subscribers. So you can help get us there.
Okay. So, Brooke, we've touched on preservative, and we will go through it in depth as we go through the masterclass. But someone just is not into preservatives, and that does happen. So how long will it last if they don't use one?
Not very long, unfortunately, because it is a water-containing cream. We wouldn't recommend you keep it longer than a week at the absolute maximum, because it does contain water and some nice botanicals, which bacteria and that do love to grow in. And I have had some creams that I've kept unpreserved, and it is sometimes kind of scary to see what grows in them. So you do want to use a preservative with this cream. That being said, if you're not into preservatives, there are lots of things you can still make, but you just want to avoid water. So that's anhydrous things like balms and butters and lip balms. And if that's what you're looking for, then head over to our blog that we mentioned earlier. We have lots and lots of different recipes that are all anhydrous, and they should give you some inspiration of things that you'd like to make.
Yeah, and we're going to walk through all of this in episode 6 and 7 as well, about the importance of preservation, because you have to be proud of preserving your product, because it means you're keeping your formulation safe, your customer safe, yourself safe, your business safe, all of it. But yes, as Brooke said, you can make perfectly lovely formulations without preservatives, but then they cannot contain water.
Okay. So Dawn says, come back to you, Brooke, for this one. So what type of thermometer should someone use? What does it have to go up to?
So I don't know what specific temperature my thermometers go up to. You can use a couple of different types. So the best one is going to be a probe thermometer, which you will see us use in episode 2. That is the kind of thermometer that has the little prongs on the end that you can sort of stick in your formulation, and it gives you a nice even reading. The other option you have is a laser thermometer. Those are also very good. You can use it from a distance, but it will only give you the measurement of the top of your cream. So make sure you're stirring it if you're using one of those. I don't know exactly which one temperature mine go up to, but you wouldn't need more than 100 degrees, because your formulation, you should only be heating it to 75, 80 at an absolute maximum. So you don't need it to go over 100 degrees in any situation that I can think of in terms of formulating. So anything under that, you should be absolutely fine. That's in Celsius though, not Fahrenheit. So
and if I can just reset the room slightly, because we're only here for another 10 minutes or so. So we are here to answer your questions about the masterclass. I can see lots of questions coming in. How do I make a shampoo? How do I make a deodorant? What do I do with this cream? I'm afraid we're not here to answer those at the moment. We're here to help you with the masterclass, where you'll be learning how to make, sorry, wrong one. Got so many this face cream, which contains so many beautiful botanical ingredients. And we've released the first 3 episodes already, so we're here to support you. This is your educational Q&A session, and there'll be another one on Sunday for the next episodes as well. So you keep firing those questions at us, because we're only here for a short window left.
Yeah, we are kind of wrapping up, but as a kind of part of the refresh, Lorraine, where can I find the supply list?
If you click on the link in the email that you've received when you sign up for this masterclass, on your study area, there is a big button at the top that says suppliers. Click on that. It will take you through to a page, and we've listed all of them together. They're amazing. They're all over the world. Go and buy a kit from them if you want to formulate along.
Terrific. Okay, next question. Someone says, how to check the consistency of the cream, which we tried in the first 3, I think, which they made in the first 3 lessons. So how does someone really know? I mean, obviously they have to follow the lessons and kind of judge it, but any tips, Brooke, we can give them on how they know they have the right consistency?
So the right consistency is a little bit subjective, so it would depend on what kind of consistency you're going through. So obviously in the masterclass, we have gone for a slightly thicker consistency, but it's not super thick. It's sort of not pourable, but it is kind of that viscous texture. So you want to be basically having a look, making sure that the cream has come together. You want it to all be nice and stable. There's no oil droplets. It shouldn't be sort of super liquid. Just have a look at what we've done in the video, and that should give you a good idea of the kind of texture that you're looking for. Watch us stirring it. Have a look at us decanting it into the jars and things like that, and that'll give you the texture that you're aiming for. The other thing I will say is we are working with Olive M1000 for this cream, and Olive M1000 in particular, lots of emulsifiers do it, but this one in particular does definitely need 24 hours to reach its final consistency. So if you're looking at your cream just after you've made it, it's still warm, relatively warm, you've poured it into your jar, it's all done, it's ready to go, then you might find that it's a little bit thinner, and then 24 hours down the line it should thicken up and set into a nice consistency. So don't worry about it yet if you haven't because your formulation isn't complete yet. You've got your base, but you haven't added your extra ingredients, you haven't added your preservative, you haven't got everything in there yet, so this isn't going to be the final consistency. So keep an eye on it, but you should be able to get a feel for the kind of consistency you're looking for.
Yep. And just to add, this is what Olive M1000 looks like. You'll see us use it in episode 3 as well. So it's just flakes, white flakes, a little bit fatty, very easy to use.
Okay, someone asked, Alina, lovely Alina, says, can we use Germal Plus instead of GeoGuard for this pumpkin cream? Brooke. Or Lorraine.
I just looked up the Inky, Brooke, because I saw the question come in while you were talking. So the Inky for that means the cosmetic name of Germal Plus is, and you're going to have to excuse me here, I do my best, propylene glycol, diazolidinyl urea, and iodopropanyl butyl carbamate. And I'm going to say with a great degree of certainty that is not organic certified. So it's not one that we work with. You could use it, but you wouldn't be able to call your cream natural or organic, most likely. I don't know if it is certified, but I'm fairly sure it probably isn't.
I don't think it is. I recognise the name, and I think it's one that isn't certifiable natural. But as Lorraine said, if that's something that isn't super important to you, or you have Liquid Germal Plus currently, then yes, you can use it. You can try it out. But if you want to work with naturals, then Preservative Eco, which is the one that we have used in this masterclass, is definitely your best place to start.
And I think I can see in the chat on Facebook that Hansel's laughing at my terrible
I saw that as well.
I do apologize. The other thing is that in episode 8 in your masterclass, we'll be walking through alternatives. We've listed some other preservatives here that you can use as well. So go and get your workbook, and they're listed in there.
Absolutely. And I think we are going to have to kind of wrap it up. I can see a lot of questions on different products, different things to do with the masterclass, but we have to kind of draw a line somewhere because we want to focus just on the masterclass and up to this point as well. But thank you so much to everyone that has joined this live and added questions. As I said before, we can't really do it without you, and they have been absolutely fantastic. And I can see someone saying, can you provide us a list of everything? So Lorraine, one last time, where does everyone go to get everything they need?
It's
one
in
last
the
refresh.
Study area. If you get the email, click on it, go to the study area, it's all there. If you want a list of all natural and organic preservatives, those are in our courses. We're not providing that as part of the masterclass. We're providing you with something simple and easy to just get started with straight away. But if you're looking for more than that, have a look at Formula Botanica after the masterclass. I mean, this, for instance, is a bonus that everyone gets when they enroll with us. It's 250 pages of ingredient directory that we've made. You just can't buy that anywhere. But that is not what this is about. The masterclass is here to get you formulating. And if you have questions about other ingredients or you want to try something else, episode 8 is going to be the one that will answer all your questions, because we always obviously find that people can't necessarily get hold of everything we're using. And that's totally fine, because you don't necessarily need to just follow the recipe that we've given you. When you become a formulator, you create your own recipes using the ingredients that mean something to you. And that's incredibly exciting. And this is really just to give you a flavor of what's possible. And even if you can't formulate along with us, that's totally cool too. Just come and watch us and soak it all up and see for yourself how easy it is. I promise you, it's not fancy TV trickery. we're genuinely showing you how straightforward it is, and that could be you too. And you could make your own formulations, you could sell them, and that's really why we're doing this, because obviously we want to show you what the possibilities are. So have fun with it.
It's all about having fun. And if you're part of the Skin Get Entrepreneur Mastermind group, which you should be, I feel as Iani can share the link. You'll see people in there sharing, you know, what they've come, where they've got to with the emulsion, sharing the workbook selfies. So I want everyone watching this to share their workbook selfie in the group. I'm sure not everyone will, but if we can get most, that will be fantastic, because we love to see you enjoying it. It really does make it all worthwhile for us. So thank you so much to everyone that's done that already and everyone that's going to do that in the future. Lorraine and I and Brooke will see all of your posts, and the team give lots of encouragement underneath as well. So a little bit of homework. Workbook selfie in the Facebook group if you can. Join us for the next Q&A. It's going to be on Sunday, 6 p.m. London time. So this Sunday, so it's just in 2 days. And we want everyone to be up to date with all the lessons. Obviously, if you aren't, don't worry, but just try and watch the 3 lessons that are going to get released tomorrow. And yeah, just continue on in the journey.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, so episodes 4, 5, and 6 are released tomorrow. They go out at 2 p.m. Eastern time. No, I got that wrong. 2 p.m. UK time, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And then episodes 7, 8, and 9 are released on the 6th, which is Monday. No, help me here.
6th is Monday.
I'm losing track. And then we'll be hosting episode 10 live on Wednesday evening UK time. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and make sure that you have your name on the list for that one.
Absolutely. And Anna says you're also friendly and inspiring, but that is because our community is as well. Like, we find our community inspiring, we find our community friendly, and just wanting to really help each other through the masterclass and just, you know, discover this new world and have fun as we're making things and watching the lesson. So thank you to you as well. And someone says, how do I get in contact with you? If anyone watching has any questions about the masterclass, our team are ready to answer. Just give us a little bit of time, but we will answer. Just hello@formulabotanica.com. Just send us an email and we will get back to you. We answer thousands of tickets, and we will definitely answer yours if you send us an email. Yeah,
right.
Great. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you, Brooke. I hope you have a lovely evening or a lovely day, wherever you are in the world. And we will see you for Q&A, which is this Q&A 2, which is this Sunday, 6 p.m. London time. We will see you then.
See you soon, everyone. Take care.